guys, today we are going to be going over this brainstorming strategy called looping. Looping is a great strategy when a writer is stuck and they don't know what they want to write about. Looping is a great strategy to kind of help cure that writer's block a little bit. The way looping works is you start off with a topic. And so our topic that we're going to be looking at is loss. And so when I'm talking about this topic of loss, I'm meaning a physical person that you have lost, someone close to you, or this could be an item, this could be an object. Maybe it's an important game that your team lost. You get to choose kind of how you interpret this topic. That's totally up to you on how you want to do that. But the way it's going to go is you have your topic, and we have our topic of loss. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to then set my timer, and I have my timer right here. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, what I am going to be doing is I am going to sit here and free write. So I'm just going to free write about this topic of loss. Okay, so I have my free write right here. So we're talking about this topic of loss. So the way I interpreted that was as a physical person. So I wrote about losing my uncle while I was in high school and how losing someone you love makes you change as a person and how I kind of changed to become a better person since I lost him because, you know, I learned things from that point in my life when I was really down. So you have your free write. And with looping, when you think of a loop, you think of something that has multiple circles or multiple loops on it, right? Phrase that you want to expand on. You have something more to say on that subject. So what you're going to do is I took a different color just to kind of distinguish it here. But I'm going to talk about this word change. So I can take this in one of two ways when I'm free writing down here. I can still talk about change from whenever my uncle passed away and how that kind of changed me as a person. I could talk about a different change in my life. I could talk about anything really. It doesn't have to connect to what is up here. So what you're going to do is then I'm going to move down here and I'm going to write about this word change or this topic of change. And I'm going to set my timer again for 2 minutes. So I took this idea of change, and down here I wrote about how in high school and early college I was basically the same person. I was very respectful, a great studious student. I was very shy and quiet, but I realized that was because of the environment that I was in my hometown. And then I talk about how I met a group of friends my sophomore year of college and I changed for the better. I finally found out who I was as a person and who I was as a friend, really. And I kind of found where I belonged. And so I talk about how change, while it is inevitable, it is a good thing. And I finally felt like I belonged to a social circle and a group of friends. So then what I would do is then I would take a different color and then I would do the same thing. So I would circle a word and I would loop down here. With looping, you can loop as many times as you want. I would say if you loop about 3 times, That's kind of the magic number, because with loss, I kind of go on to this topic of loss. So I talk about this and then how I lost my uncle, but then I could also talk about how I was losing my identity a little bit with this change, right? So it's all on how you interpret the topic. But what you will do is you will loop a couple of times, and then from there you have 3 or 4 different things that you could possibly talk about when you are writing. So looping is a great strategy to help kind of release that writer's block, and I hope you enjoy it.